him to get right in there and get those punches off, you know, with all the control that's going to be coming out, if he's the only one that's going to be doing anything like that.
Yep. This is a very concerning time if you're a CIS fan. But the laning phase will start, so what do we get from Team Liquid? It looks like we are going to be looking at the Necro coming down the safe lane. Kuro, a little bit out of position, going to get crushed early on. He might have to level up Shallow Grave to keep himself alive through this one. And what's he going to do? Yeah, there's a Shallow Grave level, but he never got it off in time. The Lich arrived and gave a little bit of extra damage before Kuro was ready for it. And that gives first blood over to CISR.
Yeah, and Goblak actually got the maximum value out of that. Didn't he have to skill up the Frost Blast, so he still has Sacrifice ready for the lane?
That's the dream for the
yeah,
off
it really
lane.
is.
CISR have actually dodged this perfectly. Because now they get to run, like, if they want to, they can even run an aggro tri-lane here with Iceberg, Goblak, and Slaughter together. Wait, no, he's mid. Always want to fly us there. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself with solo mid. No. They need something for the CK. Like, Wiz can't hang around mid. Always want to fly can block the wave up a little bit. He needs to get up there to help out the CK. Or else Beastmaster's just going to zone him out with the boars.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering how they're gonna put any aggression here on Fata in the mid lane. Like, not only do they already have Jerax, who's gonna be on the Winter Wyvern, ready to TP in, and then of course as well Kuroki. We've already talked about this heal strat coming out, but Lich, like he makes your dual offlane awesome, right? Like he basically makes it a possibility. And I wonder if they are just gonna leave Always Want to Fly and not just the block, simply because with the Lich you can't really put the pressure on an SF that you usually would like to.
Iceberg.
Jeez.
That's a large chunk of damage very early on. Always Want to Fly didn't get the rune as well. They gave it to the Lina instead, so Always Want to Fly is not looking at an early bottle like he might have hoped for. And that gives Fata a bit of an advantage. Fata already knows he's going to need one. That's why the Wyvern rotated himself in when he did. So Iceberg back, make the Wisp then rotate off. Mind Control. I don't know if he felt the rotation or he saw the rotation. You'll now see it with the Observe Ward being placed. Always Want to Fly that's being kept out of the lane a little bit longer. He doesn't want to battle up against Mind Control. It's too easy for him to die.
Yeah, and I like him coming up here now, before there's too many levels stacked up on top of Mind Control. Try and zone him out a little bit, because once there's a second and third level into the boar, it adds a lot of damage. And it also adds the 20% movement slow, so CK, like, he's pretty scary, but in the early levels, I mean, unless he has a buddy there, you're not too concerned about your safety.
Life, where are you? Trying to leech the experience here, which isn't really a bad idea, giving Lich the lane.
Yeah, typically we'll see him do it down in the river though, so it's a little bit... he eats a few more right clicks than he'd probably wanted to in that situation. But he will be able to probably secure this rune.
Pinging to try and contest it. Jirax has actually burn up as well, so if he wants to deny up the rune, he possibly can do so. Just a bounty rune. Actually very favourable for Jirax. If that was something like a haste rune, he might have been in a little bit more trouble. The top rune got denied out by the boar. So there's no reason for Iceberg to rotate for that. In fact, the boar even rotates into the middle lane. Just make life a little bit more difficult for the Lina. But to screw with the creep equilibrium a little bit too, so Fata here with that one.
Yeah, and they are on top of Mind Control up here. I'm not sure if they killed... Oh, they actually add on the Tether Slow just at the end, so it's going to be so close! Oh, nice pull in there. So Ramses will secure that one up for himself, and that's great. You really need that start on your CK if you want to get anywhere close to, like, maybe the drums first, and then eventually the armlet, of course, for your illusions.
It's actually the perfect start that they were looking for. Lina is the highest CS, beating out the SF, you'd expect that. The 666 managed to find some really good CS, and now a kill on the safe lane, up against the Beastmaster, which will slow down either his initiation or his big teamfight control through Necro Books or Blink Dagger. And the Necrophos getting a decent amount of farm, but it's not crazy in a way that is keeping the Slaughter from farming. Goblak still dragging this creep wave back. So CISR, they are getting an advantage early on. Afterlife forced to crush a retreat from Matub. They're over 1,000 in net worth. Not experience, they did have it at one point, but yeah, this actually isn't too bad. This is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be terrible.
I guess it's the big difference, probably just the fact that they do have that Lich kind of shoring up the offlane here. Oh wow, they're on top of Mind Control again!
Yeah, Always Want to Fly. Spirit damage does a lot. He'll lose his life for this. The ball was right behind it. So the Beastmaster gets a decent amount. CISR dived really deep in that one. They started that just up near the river entrance, that fight. Dragged a long way down.
Yeah, and this is why it was mentioned just during the draft. I really like the Beastmaster in the safe lane, and in terms of the off lane, this is kind of what can happen, especially if he gets off to a bad start like he did. It's very hard for him to come back. There's no jungling, right?
Going mid. Iceberg as well as always want to flat those razors from Fada on the cold embrace. Iceberg does some magical damage, but okay, it will be enough to find the kill. Jirax wants to trade off, and Iceberg is able to win out. It's a double kill for the Lina. She'll still end up dying to that one little range creep that was attacking. It'll end up being a 2-for-2 trade-off in the mid. Lina dying last, however, means not as much experience with Team Liquid.
I wonder if, like, how is this going to affect what Fata wants to do? I still assume he goes for the mech. I don't think we're going to... I mean, we've seen Necro mech in the past, but I think the Shadow Fiend is still the plan here. And then there will be some group up happening, but with these lower levels on mind control, I guess they're probably going to have to wait for he's at least 6 or 7 to add more points in the aura. It's going to be interesting how they transition into the mid game with a lineup that looks like it's designed to 5-man around the 12-minute mark once they're heading towards these towers. Just, of course, another good reason to do that would be you're up against the IO, right? So once he's up to 6, you don't really want to be out alone anyway.
Wait. Tommen is so, like, desperately wishing he had level 6 right now. He brought Afterlife down. It was actually a really great combo. They used both the Shadow Wave as well as the Death Pulse to inflict serious amounts of damage into Afterlife. Tommen's okay with this attack as well. While the Chaos Knight's going to get himself another kill, that's the reason why he's okay. The Shadow Wave, however, was on cooldown for Kuro. I think the goal there was to trap in Afterlife when he felt like he had the kill, trigger the stick charges, and then turn around with both the Death Pulse as well as the Shadow Wave damage. And that would have dropped the Slaughter down to almost nothing.
Yeah, top lane, it's really not too much. You just throw out the Reality Rift and the Chaos Bolt, and that's just a dead Beastmaster. I mean, he's still sitting on level 5. He has a Mango. Like, he doesn't really have any stat items going for himself here. Oh, looks like Afterlife's on top of Jerax, bottom rune. Yeah,
Jerax is trying to contest him by throwing out that very early Arctic Burn, but
middle tower is under attack.
Afterlife gets the bounty and they're just going to retreat back out again. They could see the support coming in with the Observer Ward on the high ground too, so Team Liquid knew what they're getting themselves into. I just don't know about the Dire Observer Ward watching their movements as well.
And then how close are we to 6? Fly. Actually, not getting too much experience. I suppose it was, I mean, it's only 6 minutes in there. On top of Fata, though.
Wow, again.
That wasn't too
Wyvern sacrificing his life, but Fana's going to get himself stunned up. Line Striker Ray turns for 1 hit. He'll get the curveball into the IO, so IO will drop. It's been a little bit of a brutal game early on. I think Mind Control also considering having a crack at the top lane. He's never level 6 yet though. He needed that creep to die before the initiation came in from 666.
Yeah, you can tell he is planning on leaving the lane, so he does only have the 1 point in the axes. This lane, like, he's just like, alright, I got my 6, like, I'm out of here. Let's go, I'll grab myself a rune, maybe, and try and group up with somebody.
Rotate, kill off the Lina, slow down on progression.
Yeah, that's the dream. Maybe a smoke would help in this situation, try and reveal the roar that way.
And this push to keep coming in, it happens every 7 minutes into the game. I see Loaded doing this a lot when he plays his Gyrocopter as well. That you push with the catapult wave into the tower. But someone can make this push go even stronger, but it always happens on Radiant side. I never see it really happening as much over on the Dire side, just because of the way the creep wave works. Oh, they're going to TP down. Licholic going to bounce back up to the creep wave, however, doesn't go down to Kuro. But Kuro will drop. Tupperman trapped inside the corner. He won't be able to get the Death Pulse off, but we're still on cooldown. And Laguna Blade ensures the kill, and Goldblack so aggressively starting that fight.
Yeah, that was a perfect rotation right in there, so nice little pickup there for Iceberg, and grab himself an Invis rune as well, so if they want to look for Fata, probably knowing that he is in the jungle, it doesn't look like that'll be the case, so just go clear at mid lane. They'll probably make use of it shortly before the 2 minutes runs out. It's probably pair up with Afterlife, and he's already got his Tranquil Boots and 300 gold towards a Blink Dagger, so doing fairly well considering the pressure that was being put on there, like right into the tower, and having Goldblock in his lane the whole time, though. Definitely helping to get a little bit more firm.
I can't believe that CISR have had such a great start. I'm still in disbelief. Like, the fact you've got like 3 kills over on that Beastmaster has given all the space in the world to 666. So you could be looking at a big item from him sometime soon. Iceberg hasn't been shut down at all. And this SF, normally one of the greatest flash farmers, and difficult heroes to keep up with, but net worth-wise, Lana hasn't really got much to speak of.
No, and I believe the general consensus coming into this would certainly be that Liquid is going to be, you know, quickly running this over. I think they have a 14% are the general odds being thrown around. So,
well, I said to you before we started this game as well, like, man, I'm fairly certain this will be a quick 2-0 because CISR, they've been very unstable. It's almost impossible to say they can win something when you're just not quite sure what team you're going to get to the game at the night. This team is exactly the type of team which I was kind of hoping for from CISR. The aggressive, run at you, like even a defensive hero like a Lich, a hero that drags the lane back. Goldblack comes in, it's like, okay boys, I got level 6. Instant ulti, doesn't care if it bounces. What it did was split up the Dazzle as well as the Necro, so they couldn't help each other. And the Lena's rotation timing is perfect. I don't know what Goldblack's done for his boys. But it's working. Yeah, Iceberg's in trouble. The rotation from Mind Control was going to come in at some point. Always going to fly. Cannot keep him alive. In fact, may lose his life now. Out these first to try and get rid of the ball, but unfortunately him won't connect. Fada lets the ulti ripped off alive. Now he did a little bit too far. Maybe this is the CISR team I was waiting to see. 3 quick kills coming in from Team Liquid. Lich, Lena, as well as Slaughter all combined together.
Yeah, that's a lot of mech components now for Fata. And so with now, you got max points into the 4, just absolutely terrifying. We just saw that roar and the power can be used up against Alina. I mean, we talked about if Ramses isn't in the fights with his Chaos Knights and his Phantasms, it's pretty scary for a lot of these heroes. It's generally rather squishy. If you have the sprint debuff on top of you with Slardar, you're going to be burst down pretty fast with things like the Requiem. Even just the little pulses coming out from the Necrophos. Because also has the haste rune.
I just gotta hit a reality. I was drinking the CISR juice at one point, and then I realized this is a little off. We have to remember how strong Team Liquid's lineup is. Get a couple of kills early on, terrific. You're being aggressive with your ultimates, terrific. But go watch your father coming in. Like, he's gonna get crushed up. Doesn't make this easy. But he forces a rotation out from 666. The amplification's out there, but then you do have the Cold Embrace. Only a 2-second stun as well from that Chaos Knight. Fada was actually controlled more by the Cold Embrace, but they keep the control up, and Fada's rotation with his haste rune not paying off. All of CISR, their entire team, rotated down the bottom lane. Now they want to relocate a little bit further forward. Now allow for the relocate. Jirax actually Cold Embracing at the perfect time, but they still have enough magical damage to get through him. 2 quick kills for CISR. Top tower's going to take some damage as well as their mid.
Is under attack.
Still some good picks for them.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
and Mind Control, he has the Belt of Strength. I assume it'll be the Necrobook. I wonder if he's considering a Blink Dagger just because they are lacking a little bit in the initiation of this game. It's definitely usually the Necrobook first in almost every single game, but I don't know. I could see it being okay up against something like the IO pairing.
Going top. Half-Life's waiting for the Mind Control, sorry, is waiting for the perfect roar time. The ball is secret. Hawk comes up so they can see him perfectly. Dazzle's in the neighborhood too, so ball to start with. Ready for the Splinter Blast until the creep wave is going to arrive. The Shadow Wave damage is there, and Jirax now just let the Splinter Blast go, and there it is. Half-Life will drop. The Lich only bounces back over the ball, so again, Goldblack getting no bounce chances out. Favorable ones at least. They're going to actually curse up the Chaos Knight, allowing the rest of Liquid to retreat back out.
That was a sprinted Slardar trying to escape right there. The slows. It's actually unbelievable how much slow you can stack on with the boar. I think it's a little underrated. It's crazy we don't see this hero more often in our pub games. Iceberg is going to find with the Invis rune down bottom on Fata, and Dragon Slave, he's got the Laguna Blade. Will it be enough though?
Nope, not with 1 charges. Fire can also bot. He's Requiem up as the relocating Newell was on the way in. Always want to fly, takes the severe damage to this, and Kuro wants to keep him alive. He's waiting for the Shadow Wave timing. Iceberg going to get that last Wreck Array off, but Kuro dragged back in again. He won the last take to kill off Iceberg. The tower's almost done it, but Iceberg, the perfect positioning of the Lena, reaches with the wave to kill off Dazzle. And that's another 2 heroes chalked up for CISR.
Didn't even need the Laguna Blade. I thought he could chuck it out at the end.
He used it, I don't think he would have had enough mana, right?
Yeah, that's true actually. Got a couple Dragon Slaves off instead.
Jirax, dead.
Yeah.
That's earn charges plus the rest of it. With Mind Control with the axes, The creep wave just keeps chasing down over and always want to fly. So Gold Black roared up, always want to fly, gonna TP himself out. He's got enough life to survive. Mind Control also will be in the same boat. CK unable to get there in time, so he gets all the way back to base Mind Control. The 1-for-1 trade-off.
Yeah, and he does go for the Necronomicon first, so just gonna rely on the Death Pulses and the Shadow Waves as well to keep them alive. Afterlift's coming in, hasted up here. I don't know if he can go solo on Matumba Man though, so it's a little bit risky. Yeah, just get the heck out of there.
If he had that Blink Dagger, then maybe. I think his goal was just to combine it with Iceberg, because he's still got Laguna, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's that, run yourself in, crush him up, stun him up, Laguna, Slave, and Fada should die. And that would delay the mech even further, but they didn't, so Fada now completes up his mech. And he's a 1-for-4 SF. He still managed to finish himself an under 15-minute mech.
That's certainly the power of the Shadow Fiend. We've seen it time and time again, but it's kind of absurd what he can really add to any sort of a pushing lineup, or even if he wants to go for something like the S and Y. Just being able to get any sort of a good mid-game item at a decent timing, it adds a lot to a game that when you're losing the laning phase and you can actually make some sort of a bounce back coming into the mid-game. And now we have max points in the Death Pulse. We have drums finished up first on Matumba Man. The Aura strats. It's ready to go here.
They're just ready to fight. It's that sweet timing we talked about, like Liquid like to hit. They're gonna hit it perfectly. SF with mech, drums up and running, the Raw's back off cooldown, even level 1 Necro books, ever since their buff, are actually worthwhile having it level 1. And then you still got Dazzle. Now he doesn't, Kuro is bypassing the crap of stability in Dota 2, so there's no points up Poison Touch. But with the 4 points up in Shadow Wave, as well as the points up in Weave and the 2 in Shallow Grave, he can keep people alive, he can keep them armored up before the fight begins, so CISR will be very apprehensive to jump into a team with such high levels of armor. And then you've still got the level 4 burst heal. So Chaos Knight initiates, and then he gets, damage from the Shadow Wave. And they just smoked up without throwing down the Sentry Ward, and then threw down the Sentry Ward to check for the ults. Well, Beastmaster under attack. There's Shallow Grave already. Iceberg wanting to get himself away. Had himself a haste root. The Curse holds him in position, so is the Raw. That lit ulti again, it cannot just bounce, but Iceberg, the Splinter Blast with a tether heal. He'll end up surviving through this one. And the CK, no, he put himself on the cliffside. He can't reality rip down for 2 more seconds. And now, there it is. Drinks in Jirac, and all of his illusions back again. Fada's Requiem a little bit too slow there. The armlet toggle is kicking in from the CK. Mind Control once more with a 3-man basically ravaged from the Slaughter, catching out all of Team Liquid. Mind Control continues to be stunned up. Always want to find they're still battling inside these Necro units, so there's no real mana to work with for him. But Iceberg doesn't really care. Uses up over on the Beastmaster. He can Laguna Blade if he just wants the instant kill. But instead, Iceberg pushing for the extra one. Already got himself a triple kill. Now can go for this Line Strike Array over on Fada. Able to connect as well with Laguna Blade. This is basically an ensured kill, an ultra kill for Iceberg. And CIS, they feel the power of the Chaos Knight, but the positioning of the Lina.
Yeah, and we talked about how they were ready for the fight, but that was just one of those situations where generally when you have the Beastmaster, one of the major things you're looking for is to always have the good vision so you're ready to take good fights. But having been initiated on by Afterlife, they thought, okay, we can get this Lina, we'll pop the Winter's Curse, we'll pop the Roar, and it was all just the Lina. And then suddenly, that was all on top of a Iceberg. And then Afterlife comes in on the Slardar with those big, crushes, had to create some chaos in the fight, and they didn't have Matumba Man ready, and the mech wasn't ready. They're trying to converge into the Roshan pit. And man, that armlet just coming out on top of Ramses really shows how powerful Chaos Knight can be.
Okay.
Poor Kuro.
They had the top lane, and yeah, Kuro a 3-second stun. He just can't go out that far. He might have been thinking, oh, they're not going to commit relocate, just little old me. But that was almost too easy for him. Take him all the way back to base as well. With the death of the Dazzle and now the arrival of the Blink Dagger for the Slaughter, I'm wondering if CISR just feel the confidence where they can force a fight around Roshan. Not even just to take Roshan themselves, even if they do have Slaughter. Their physical damage into Roshan is still fairly poor. The fact that you can almost create a fight with Team Liquid, Mind Control's dead. Reward of the Dire is too far away to de-ward. And they just spirit up, they get a kill on a Beastmaster, and with no Hawk vision, they just go on it.
I mean, how terrifying is Iceberg right now? I mean, Yule's, and he immediately picked up that Shadow Blade after the Ultra Kill. It's a pretty common build. We've seen it around 70 times all time, and that was the 10th fastest we've ever seen. So, having a pretty good time, I would say, coming out of that in the mid lane, especially with like the nerf to creep gold and everything like that. Getting that sort of a timing in 6.85 is extremely impressive.
How many times has CK won? Like, he doesn't get picked that often. This may be one of these games where CK just becomes completely unstoppable. Yeah, Lina is definitely doing the work, but all of these clearances against CK, they're not going to exist once he gets tanky enough. And with an armlet and what I can only assume is going to be an SMY, 6-6 would be very, very tanky.
Yeah, we've seen, what do we have? We had a couple support Chaos Knights being run by Fluff and everybody else over in the NA scene doing their typical crazy stuff. So he's 15 and 10, I believe, this patch so far. But when he's paired up with the IO, he's still 9 and 2. Like, still a very formidable pairing. I would consider it quite different when you're running him solo or with the IO. It's basically like a totally different hero, right? So running it that way, I mean, it's just unstoppable. It's tiny, honestly, and they're going to go in again.
Yeah, but Tumba caught out. They relocated down for this, but there was no more support coming in from Team Liquid. Just let it go. The fight was over before the relocate was even done, so you can understand why they did it. Why does Wisp end up? Back up on the top lane underneath the Hawk division.
Under attack.
It looks like CISR now want to try and make the most out of this Aegis the Immortal. Because why hold back? Like, you got an Immortal Lina who's just wanting to pop off ability after ability. You've almost got a level 16 Lina in 21 minutes. Iceberg couldn't be any further ahead even if he tried.
Yeah, and they've seen the Blink Dagger picked up, right? So, watching that, I mean, you saw him going for this Aura strat, and then suddenly 2,200 gold goes out on Necrophos for a Blink Dagger, but you're sticking together, you've got your IOs partnered up with your CK Slardars in there bashing people up, so honestly, the Blink, it might secure, like, if Liquid win a fight, he might be able to Blink forward and guarantee the ultimate on top of someone to stack them out for the next fight, like they just get scythed. But in terms of the actual engagement, I'm not sure how much effect it's really going to have in this case.
It's all about the initiation. You use it as a raw, almost. Hi, Wyvern. It was really, really nice knowing you, but Iceberg found you. This is actually something too, which I remember was, I think it was DreamHack, Dream League 2 seasons ago, when Matumberman first really made his appearance onto the scene. And he came out with his Blink Dagger Necro. And it was all about aggression. It was all about him being the one to jump in and using it as a stun and not a kill. That's what it all was.
Right, and a lot of the time we'd also see some of those high-end nukers paired up with them to make that even better as oh, they're on top of the
Raw, the side's going to put him down for 75 seconds. And Kuro still alive. Arrived in time and Relocate pulled him out just in time as well.
Alright, easy Necro game. Piece of cake.
Yeah. Game is really amazing until you delete a hero for 2 minutes. Like, what do you even do? You sit there with your rest of your team, and you're like, okay, guys, like, I got scythed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna head out for a bit. I'm gonna get a coffee, go have a smoke. No.
Don't smoke, kids. Unhealthy for you.
Well, I mean, it was a CIS team. I did, you know.
You're gonna go out and grab yourself some ice cream. Is what you're gonna do.
And they also have the mech finished up on Goblak too, so it's a little bit, I don't know, you can kind of make those last second saves on top of someone who Matumberman's trying to target down, but it definitely helps for a push like this. Still gonna be able to make good use of the Aegis. There's about a minute left, I believe. I guess I'll check the hit there. Yeah, about a minute left, and they can probably get another tier 2, although it is getting a little bit scary with the Aurora coming back off cooldown.
They want to force a fight. It could be the dream. Like, if you can get a pick off, like just to relocate up, take out mind control, and then get yourself back, like that would probably be the best choice here. Not yet be forced into this tier 2 tower trade-off. Also not a bad position for CISR. Again, they're going to commit Phantasm.
Yeah.
They're going to push as quick as they possibly can. There's the relocate up. So while the Phantasm's going off, mind control. Wow, I love it when a plan comes together. That Aegis, the Immortal fighter, he was winding up for the ulti. The Glimmercape protected always want to fly just enough that he's able to relocate himself back down the bottom lane, where 666 is still trying to complete everything, which he's able to do so. Takes out the tower. And maybe... No, he can't get himself in range of Jirax. He'll survive there. Iceberg, however, the side, and they brought him down low enough. 100 seconds on the sideline. So it's nice knowing ya. This would have been the greatest trade ever for CISR if he could get back.
Yeah, if the timing wasn't off for that relocate where he was back up from the Aegis, but I think he did. I don't know. He got a little greedy there, sticking around that log. I think it was fairly obvious the rest of the team was there, and of course, you can never count out the vision. Not only do they have the ward, but you always have to be worried about where the hawk is. So, a nice little pick off there to snag up Iceberg, and that's huge, right? Like 70 seconds now. That might secure a second tier 2 if they can push out mid fast enough.
First shot. Again, they're not really focusing on pushing. They're focusing on their farm at this point. I'm wondering too, like, so what was the build we're talking about from the Tubberman? Like necros, like what's the dream? You got 3,000 gold. You've already got blink drums. Your life is looking fairly decent. Is it enough? Do you need more? Do you look for armor? Is that the play?
Oh. Well, there's another relocate gang. Yeah, armor was the first thing that came to my mind. Would have been something like the Shiva's Guard, simply because you are running an aura strategy already. You're up against the Slardar. You've got the Dazzle on your side as well, so you can kind of stack it all up on top. A lot of people will like to go for the Agnums here, depending. Without a lot of heavy nukers, maybe that is an option here. Like if you don't have the SF, there's no Lina on your team. There's no Lion or anything like that to try and lower down their HP for the site. So I could see that also being an option for him. Probably not the Dagon though.
No. No.
Please no.
Anything but the Dagon. It is not a requirement in this game. You know what I'd actually love to see the resurgence of is the double necro books.
Oh jeez.
It's just an insane army that you can create. And up against squishy heroes like what's here, and you don't have a BKB over on the CK. The Slider went for a 4-star build as well. Like they don't have this immunity either, so there's gonna be nothing to work with for the CK and the Slider.
Well, I mean, if you're going Aura Strat as well anyway, you're getting basically double the value, right? So, throwing that all up on top of everybody, get your Necros all drum stuff and everything like that, so I would be pretty fine with that. And there is... Have we seen the Agnum's Laguna? I don't think it's been thrown out yet, has it?
Agnum's Laguna?
I think she died before she got to chuck it out on that last one, so she's ready.
I love it. Now, Shao graduated from university, ready to throw out Lagunas whenever she wants to.
Pretty much solo Lina relocate university is what it is.
It's actually not a bad thing. Like, it's really not a bad thing. Like, you don't always have to take a core as well with a Wisp. You can take a support, maybe not in the case of a Lich, but you had yourself like a nice stunning initiating support. Locate him in a real nice position, good control area. We've actually seen it with, like, if you go back to the old schools with TIE Hunters as well as Enigmas.
Radiant's top tower.
These guys were crazy. Oh, great time to get that reality rift off. Mind control, perfect stun control. You do have Kura getting that Shallow Grey buff, so mind control was defiant for the moment. The Lich Only again looking to bounce. That Reaper side can't find the kill, but the Curse will buy a lot of space. Durex the perfect position for that, but he's still losing his teammates too quickly. 666, he just keeps armor toggling through the fight as well. You got nowhere to really go as Team Liquid. You think you got yourself a fight. The buyback on the Wisp came in pretty early as well from Always Gonna Fly. But you just lost your cause for no real gain.
And shortly before that fight started, there actually was a sentry ward up over on this cliff for CIS rejects, and they spotted the Hawk making that arc movement up over towards this direction. And so I think they actually understood exactly where the smoke was coming from, because you could tell by the positioning of Goblak over in these trees. He was completely ready for that initiation and immediately popped out with the chain frostbite on top of everybody. I was down with that.
Smart play.
Radiant's top tower
very
is
smart
under
play.
attack.
CISR, man, these guys, I'm loving how they're playing. I got a little bit apprehensive halfway through what we've already had, but
well, it's a little scary when you're almost 4K up at 7 minutes and they started to drip back down, but they've certainly brought it back now. It's around 10K at this point.
Their only downside is they have to wait for Roshan. Himself just over 2 minutes of the 3-minute potential spawn time. Probably just keep looking, but CISR have got everything else going for them. The items are already starting to arrive in. Like Always Gonna Fly has himself Arcane's Drum, as well as having that Glimmer Cape done. The CK is almost, in fact now has completed his BKB. You've got double 4-stars on Goldblack as well as on the Slider, so they got ways to get yourself in and out of fights, or potentially catch other players out of position. It looks like Lina as well is building into what I can only assume is going to be a scythe by Beastmaster.
That was really weird. They ran an invis past the Necro 3, but he just did. Maybe he thought he was dead anyway. Went for a last hit. I'm not sure. But alas,
I have no answer for you.
Fortunate roach timing for Liquid at least. It'll give them a little bit more time to prep themselves. They need the Hawk over that pit if they want any hope at this, but I'm not so sure right now.
Will Lincoln Sphere actually block the scythe?
Yes.
Okay, then in that case, I changed my mind on the leader. It should be a Lincoln Sphere. 100% it should be a Lincoln Sphere. You can get rid of one of those big ultimates so easily.
You have to have it on first, though. If someone gets scythed up, you can't stack it on top to stop the damage or anything like that.
Oh,
but you have the glimmers, right? So you already got that and always want to fly. The bane of the Necrophost's existence.
Someone has fallen to the dying.
Roshan dies so early. Having Lincolns as well as having something like an Aegis the Immortal, however, then there's nothing Liquid can do to keep that leader down. Probably bring 2 or 3 of them with her before you get a kill the first time around.
Is under attack.
Great game for Iceberg. In fact, yeah, there it is. Lincoln Sphere recipe's now being built up.
Yeah, it's just so good against the Roar as well, the Winter's Curse. It has a lot of value in this game.
Invisibility.
And what did they have to pop it?
Lincolns?
Yeah, they basically have like the Necro, but they have Shadow Point. No, he hasn't skilled up the Shadow Poison yet. Or Poison Touch, rather.
Bottom lane, Relocate's coming into mind control. Already amplified, and a 4-second stun for the CK. He didn't need the extra luck with that, but he'll take it anyway. And this Beastmaster is the 3rd lowest net worth on the field. Necro 3 or no Necro 3, this Beastmaster still doesn't offer enough. And Iceberg's going for a solo kill over on Fada. Missed on the line second race, but Fada to come in a little bit closer. So you're going to use him to buy some time for Afterlife to come over. Get the crush, but the call back again. Iceberg, he's already down. The Slaughter dies so quickly, but the revenge is this much. Okay, 666 with his BKB timing. Kirax controlled. I actually thought this was going to be the dream right then for Liquid by getting that curse off, but it's actually a nightmare. A triple kill arriving in for the Chaos Knight.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it was a nice curse, but I think they were lacking a little bit of vision around the surrounding area. Just simply, just the way it makes it really hard to fight when you can't see anybody. So that can sometimes be an issue. And you talk about mind control of this Beastmaster. One thing that we have seen on some of these heroes that don't necessarily always go for blink first in the off lane, like Beastmaster is probably one of the prime examples, but whereas he'll occasionally get blink or he'll get necro, we do often see them pick up the blink dagger earlier on simply because of the relocate ganks. So it can make a huge difference in your potential of actually getting picked off. It looks like they'll be back up in time for a fight here.
I think they want to back up CIS. You still got the Aegis Immortal and a fresh Lincoln Sphere over on the Lena. You don't have your Phantasm available anymore, so 666 really isn't in the greatest position to fight, but Iceberg doesn't care. He knows he can get away with murder, and that's exactly what he does. The Roar's over on the Chaos Knight, always gonna fly, gonna relocate him back away to safety. Took him all the way back to base, so Iceberg's gonna stand here on the front lines. Can't really retreat, the Death Pulse is too far away. Might almost be worth an Ice Armor over on Iceberg as well. And here's the relocate back again. 66 instantly into the BKB. 4-second stun over on mind control. The Charlie Grave will give him that space to stay alive. Literally bouncing around inside of Team Liquid. He TP's away to safety. Carlos gets away with that one while 66, he's just scythed down. Iceberg just sent his Laguna Bay back again, but the physical damage not enough to kill off Fada either. Got himself away. The drum charges just trigger him and run. And again, it's Liquid on the chase after him. Matoma a little bit too far out, amplified up. Where's that Laguna Blade? 1 second till back off cooldown with the amplification over Matoma. It doesn't really matter anymore, but CIS, they will be backing themselves out there. Nice shot like Grave as well for Kuro.
Yeah, some big plays coming out there, and in the end though, they just cleaned up a ton of golden experience, around 3,000, 1,700 heading over towards your Necrophos. So he's already got that BKB, he's well on his way to another core item. And 5,000 experience. That's huge for these, well, it's going to be huge for the Dazzle. Unfortunately, we saw poor Jerax get deleted at the start of that fight, so he doesn't come out on top of that. No worry, he's so close to level 11 as well.
I know what Jerax is meant to do. He doesn't have like a Blink Dagger or a 4-star, maybe get a Glimmer Cape. And maybe he could do something more for his team, but right now he really is just, like he's a level 1 Golden Embrace. You actually hurt your teammates more by
Dire's
throwing
middle
that
tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think rather than going for the Glimmer Cape in this situation, looking at the position they're in, I'd actually like to see him go straight into the Blink Dagger. It can help in situations where you're being picked off the Soul of Recate. You might be able to live. It's probably unlikely, but the big thing is that for the next high ground push, you're ready for that perfect initiation. And like you thought it was going to work out in the Radiant Forest, didn't quite pan out for them that time, but if you can get the same kind of effect on the high ground with all your allies nearby, that can be the continuing turning point that they're looking for.
Okay, for now, CISR. You just have to wait it out. They don't have the Aegis Immortal anymore. Actually, then again, do they? They're grouped up fairly... They're all on the mid lane at the moment, but they're being pushed out the top lane. You can just start your split push, relocate in with the CK. Force out one lane, get a reaction out from Team Liquid, and then just poke through that mid. The tier 3 talent's already down, so it's not as dangerous pushing up into the high ground. And now Slaughter, okay, he got out of that Jirac. The relocate came so quickly as well. Always on a fly is being so liberal with this ultimate of his.
And I really like that, personally. I think that's perfect. Like you mentioned earlier, it's okay for supports, and it really is. Like, it adds a lot of gold to your bank pocket every single time, and it's only a 60-second cooldown. I mean, realistically, you're not popping Phantasm or anything like that, so just use it to continue putting up this pressure on the side of the map. It makes it so that heroes like Matumba Man can't be out that far, right? You're kind of instilling that fear.
Right, just has to hide away. Because there's no way for him to survive, even with his casual plate mail and BKB, he doesn't have enough to really survive. I'm looking at this SF too, like, Farda's got a lot of money on the back of him. It might be a decision being made by him as well. Like, okay, the decision's being made. It is going to be a Skadi. Probably a very easy decision for him. And the Shiva Skadi is coming in from Matumbaman.
Like you want to think that you need the BKB because that's like the default survivability item. Like I needed this game, but you're up against an Aghanim Scepter, Lina, and a Chaos Knight. In the end, that added HP from the BKB just simply won't be enough, and the Skadi, you just have to go for the mass HP burst instead, and also give yourself a little bit more offensive capabilities for when maybe they do get locked down by the Winter's Curse of the Roar. So
it's offensive capabilities. I'm a CK. I got 3.4k life with my armlet turned off and even a heart. he can actually keep this armlet turned on fully now. Look at the heart. Like, the regeneration is going to remain. So he's almost got 3.9k life. 22 armor on this CK. Excellent help to the Vladimir's aura as well. It's a wonderful day to be a CK.
Well, even have the blink.
The Lina could be looking at something else quite powerful too. Like she's got 4,400 gold on her right now with 2.1k life. Lina's actually quite damaging.
Double damage.
And maybe that's the path she should go. Like maybe we look at her as being a physical damage dealer as well. Back up that ZK because you need something physical to help out with the slightest amplification.
Similar to the like the AC Queen of Pain kind of an idea going on. Yeah, let's actually go for the refresher. Alright then.
That's not where my mind was headed. My mind was actually headed into physical damage items. So you can predict the SF will be moving into a butterfly and you complete up something like a mocking bar already. Just get that physical damage out. If you're worried about the push, you can even build into something more like Maelstrom into Mjolnir. The disco shield over on the Slana and just go nuts. Another option.
I was actually expecting the Boots of Travel to come out first. I thought maybe just to kind of stay on top of these relocate ganks, but they're doing a good enough job already, maybe without her being involved, so just use the Shadow Blade for moving around the map. And now with that Lotus Orb being purchased up here for Afterlife, looks like it's not quite done, just needs a couple more components here. That's going to be pretty scary. Something Matumba Man's going to be very cautious of, and he'll basically have to Reaper Scythe, or sorry, have to BKB whenever he's going to throw that Scythe now.
I would actually just love to see it though. See Matumba kill himself on the side. That'd be the greatest Lotus Orb reflection you could ever think of. And revenge gained for everyone that Necro was pissed off by killing with a scythe.
I actually can't stand being scythed. It's worse than getting doomed. They're both equally as bad, honestly, but it's just like, you can't play the game. You're done.
You gotta take a moment. 666. Okay, he just bottled up an illusion rune as well. I think he's just BKB, so he's not gonna lose any mana to these Necro units. And okay, that's a big opening. Need the Yule Scepter stun over on Mind Control. The Lich Shot's going to bounce up into the top of him. They're not getting themselves out of here. Mind Control. The Shallow Grave will protect him just long enough. You also with that Requiem Assault flying out. McCulloman's so low. And Fada being dragged back in. Laguna Blade to ensure the kill. You got that Splinter Blast flying in, but from the Winter Wyvern, but he'll just retreat out. With Fada on the sideline for 76 seconds, he doesn't want to have to use his money for buyback. They will lose that tier 2 tower on top. Nothing will stop this.
Certainly. And using it, like, you have to use the defensive Winter's Curse, you have to use the Roar, and you've lost your
Iceberg.
SF.
Starting off with some of the Refresh Rob's going to be used, and Necro, the Shallow Grave is keeping him so low, but he's stunned up forever. They find the kill, and they actually find the extra. Kuro caught out in the hillside.
And there's no buyback. They can just push down mid now.
Radiant's middle barracks are
I wonder if they
attack.
still want to go in through top, however. Because you're battling up against the backdoor regeneration. The creep wave's too far back. At least take out the tier 2 tower and then go into the mid.
Radiant's top tower
And Godblack's trying to get it. So you guys head top. I'll take care of this. I'll meet you in the mid again.
They also don't even need the creep wave to come in through the mid. They just need to go in through the top if possible. Their pushing power is not really that strong. In fact, that's exactly what they've done. Push it in through the top. If you're a range Rax kill in the mid, you got 30 seconds until that Necro is back up and running. Beastmaster is forcing out the bottom lane, which is great for Liquid, so it means they're getting some level of trade-off here, but you're still losing your mid-Rax.
Yeah, there's no way they save this. It's not really worth the buyback. You know, Requiem, and even if you TP back the Beastmaster, it's unlikely you'll stop this. Now, they are saying to lose this top tower as well. This is probably where engagement might come in. It depends on what Jerax can throw out here.
But they got everything back off cooldown. And apart from Refresher Orb, you take out the million ranks and you get away to safety. Blade quick run away, you had Relocate to save, you had the Lich, Chain Frost available at level 3. CK didn't have Phantasm, but he had his BKB and Armlet, and you don't really need much more up against this lineup right now. So it's a very easy Rax and a half, and the good half on top.
And I don't even think you can Desperation Road here as Liquid. It's just too risky up against the Relocate and everything like that. It's essentially guaranteed to CIS unless they can get a really big pick off here. You can see they're sticking his 5, trying to maybe even bait out Fata a little bit. But you've got to know there's a lot of vision up here for CIS.
Iceberg looks too much of a of a target there. I love as well too the fact that if he needs it, he'd actually really screw with Liquid. Because you got double Refresher Orb during a fight. I mean, sorry, not double Lincoln Sphere because of the Refresher Orb during a fight.
Oh yeah, certainly.
So, actually getting targeted abilities onto the Lina during the fight, very difficult while she's throwing out double nukes. And with a mana pool to support the double nukes as well, which is probably the crazier thing.
This poor Matama, there's now 2 Lotus Orbs and the Lincolns with the Refresher that you're talking about. It must be terrifying for him to try and throw those ultimates right now.
Knocked the read on the Lina. Holy crap.
Oh, I love that with Refresher.
But she would actually go from like 0 to 100%. Almost one ultimate. No control's gonna, Mind Control's gonna jump himself out after Afterlife. Matolman in the neighborhood, and now 666. He has to trigger off his ultimate, and he's gonna come over, looking for damage. Decides to over and always want to fly. He does end up dropping his 2 heroes down for Team Liquid. Rise of a Wisp who's dead for a very long time, but Roshan still fighting Matolman being critted up and destroyed. They can't fight up against the Chaos like that. Jirax is gonna get himself locked and controlled as well. He wanted to go for the curse, ended up just hitting himself. Iceberg being Lotus Orb protected. I think this game is actually over. Like, they're going to take Roshan, they take the Aegis, the Immortal, there's Aegis, there's Cheese. And Iceberg didn't even have to use his Refresher Orb during the fight. Good luck.
Yeah, Laguna's off cooldown again. I mean, there's no one going to be up for this. It's extremely well played by CIS Rejects. I mean, they came out into a game that no one was favoring them whatsoever, and rightfully so. I mean, Liquid have been playing extremely well lately, but they threw together a really good early phase. Had a little bit of a slip up, but they brought it right back in the big game, fighting around 666 and using the relocate ganks. And Iceberg as well. That ultra kill, like the way he was able to control the map. Oh, and like just jumping again. I mean, it's something that's just dead. Look at that great Laguna. It's well played.
Yep, GG. CISR will take game number 1 in style. With a strong laning phase, some very good early kills, and a great rotation into the mid game. We saw the major problem for Team Liquid. The draft, it never felt like it came online. The SF had a decent amount of power, but the Wyvern never really controlled. Like, Kuro did everything he possibly could for that game, but the Beastmaster was just a non-influence. I actually kind of feel like the Necro was also a bit of a non-influence. Not 8 kills in the game, sure, but he didn't zone